As we continue this journey in the footsteps of America, remember it doesn't begin at Jamestown or Plymouth Rock. Long before there were 13 colonies, thriving civilizations were already shaping this land, learning its rhythms, and building communities in some of the most breathtaking landscapes imaginable. And few places capture that as well as Mesa Verde. Driving through Mesa Verde National Park, you quickly realize you're going to see more than a collection of ruins. The entire landscape tells the story. We're high on the edge of the Colorado Plateau, and you can see mountain ranges stretching for miles, deep canyons cutting through the mesas, and sweeping valleys opening toward the southwest. Standing at Park Point Overlook, it's hard not just to stop and take it all in. The beauty and scale of it reminds you how small you are and how incredible God's creation truly is. What amazed me most was how the Ancestral Pueblo people learned to live with this land instead of fighting against it. The sunny southern slopes created fertile ground for farming, and these communities developed ways to grow corn, beans, and squash in a dry and rugged environment. They built terraces and check dams to help capture and slow water runoff, evidence of ancient agricultural engineering. Walking through places like Farview House and Coyote Village, you begin to picture what daily life must have been like here centuries ago. These aren't just ruins. These were neighborhoods. Families lived here, raised children here, cooked meals here, passed down already ancient traditions, and adapted these villages over hundreds of years as their communities grew and changed. One of the most fascinating views in Mesa Verde is Spruce Tree House. Now, when we were there, we couldn't hike down into it during the visit, but even standing here above it and looking into the canyon gives you a sense of just how remarkable these communities were. And they built them directly into these alcoves beneath the cliffs because these dwellings offered protection from weather. They gave good visibility up and down the canyon and just natural shelter from the elements. Archaeologists believe hundreds of people may have lived there at one time. And of course, one of the greatest questions people ask is, what happened to these people? By the late 1200s, the people of Mesa Verde had abandoned these cliff communities, likely because of prolonged drought, increasing pressure on resources that led to social instability and conflict with neighboring tribal groups. But they didn't simply vanish. Their descendants still live throughout the Southwest today among the Pueblo peoples. In many ways, Mesa Verde is not the story of a lost civilization. It's the story of a people who adapted, moved, and endured. And then you look across the canyon toward Cliff Palace in the distance, and it almost doesn't seem real. Entire communities were built into the cliffs themselves beneath these massive rock overhangs. Just imagine centuries ago. Smoke rising from cook fires, people moving along trails between villages, voices echoing through the canyon walls. What struck me throughout our visit was how deeply connected these people were to the land around them. They understood its seasons, its dangers, its opportunities, and its beauty. Psalm 24 says, "The earth and everything in it, the world and its inhabitants, belong to the Lord." Well, standing in a place like this, you're reminded that God has been at work in this land long before our chapter of the story began. Mesa Verde is not just a window into ancient America. It's a reminder of the creativity, resilience, and dignity God has woven into people across generations. Join us tomorrow in another post as we travel in the footsteps of America.